Hope you can see it. Can you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Excellent. So, today we are talking about personal development, unsolved emotions, and some troubleshooting in family constellation situations. So, what are we looking at today? We look in detail about at personal development and lifestyle choices. We will talk about what are unsolved and trapped emotions and how to deal with them. We're talking about conditioned belief systems. We will talk about the so-called dark night of the soul, blind spots, lacatosis, and finally, we do some troubleshooting of where I show you the two of the most common situations in a family constellation that could get you into trouble as a facilitator. That is, mentally impaired participants is a challenge. It's always a challenge, but for the facilitator and the family constellation as well, and family secrets. Right. So let's talk about personal development. You can only give what you have, see what you know, and find what was previously in your possession if you lost it. So what does that mean? That means that we are only capable of facilitating family constellations with what we know, what we have learned, what we have been given before, what we have been able to observe. We know what we are looking for because we have learned it before, and now we just need to find it. That means we are not coming back to this topic of channeling. That also means we are not channels. We are not just empty vessels and we can channel anything and everything. That's not what a family constellation facilitator does. We are applying our knowledge, and I not only talk about the knowledge that you gain in this course, it is your whole lifetime gaining knowledge. Because if you do not know history, for example, and you work for somebody from a country where you have no history knowledge of, you cannot, for example, not find a typical situation where there would be victim-perpetrator relationships in former generations. Yeah, that's what I mean with you can only give what you have, and that is not only on a mental level, on a mind level where you have accumulated knowledge, but that is also on a heart level. Yeah, when you have a full heart, there is a lot of love to give. When you have a closed heart, where you haven't let any love in, there is no love you can give to your participants, right? So just be aware of that. You are, as a facilitator, you throw your whole being out there. And that's why the participants come to you. They come to you and not to somebody else, because that is what they want to have. Of course, they don't know it, but that is how the universe works with attracting attracting that what you on a soul level seek. Yeah. So therefore, personal development is about gaining as much knowledge as you can, staying curious, studying, like history and geography and quantum physics and whatever. Just stay on top of with knowledge, and also work in filling your heart with love and joy and all the high vibrating emotions that brings you closer to 600 or between 500 and 600, where we are vibrating in the highest emotion, of joy, which is the seat of the healer. Yeah. So that also means that you will never be finished with nobody, not you, nobody is ever finished with personal development, right? It goes on and on and on till the last breath you take. Therefore, you are also never really ready to start to facilitate family constellation. It is a fluent transition from a student to the practitioner, yeah, a fluid transition. And this is why we talked yesterday about the friendship circle and how you practice with friends and family or your fellow students. That is what is this fluidity, yeah, where you go into which is part of your personal development. This is why I said to start practicing is about you, not about the others. It's about you developing, you gaining knowledge, you getting confident in what you do, right? Not about the others. It's all about you, and that is righteously so. There's nothing wrong with that. That is the right step to take for the next year or two. That's the right step to take. Before, you are fuller. You have more knowledge. Your heart is opening more. You are capable of throwing yourself out there and giving to the participants what they came for. And then rest assured, because you know the law of attraction and how we create reality is, and I have said that before and I repeat it often, you don't need to worry that you've been challenged with situations you cannot handle. Everyone who comes to you at the stage of your development. Yeah. And whatever you are able and capable to give at that stage is what they need. Not everybody can handle the full truth. Not everybody, in fact, few people can do that, can handle the full impact of healing deep-rooted family trauma like this. Yeah, that's a way, that's a path. And they need to start somewhere, like you need to start facilitating, they need to start on the healing journey. So you are a perfect match, understand? And that's where you coming from. That, but this is why you start whenever whenever you have a group together, whenever you have the chance to start is when you start. That's what I want to say. Don't give it away. These opportunities are precious, and you build upon that. Don't wait till you are finished with the course or with the personal development to practice. So, and you need a good foundation, of course, right? And that's what you get here. But the foundation is not only the knowledge I'm conveying here, the foundation is as well your personal knowledge and development that you gain outside of this course. We are working with people, not only one person, we are working with many people, a whole family system. So we need to know people. We need to know relationships. Yeah, we need to know about emotions. We need to know about traditions, for example, yeah? In different countries, if you work internationally, at least traditions that you have in your area that you are confronted with, religious traditions or other spiritual traditions or cultures that are part of your community. You need to know about that. You need to be curious and interested to develop and to advance in your journey. Knowing yourself or self-realization is the way and the destiny. We know that since eons, that all spiritual teachers, all renowned philosophers, they all, in one way or the other, come to the same conclusion. Yeah, we need to understand who we really are. Yeah, on a personal level, on a soul level, on a spiritual level. So that is the personal development, is to stay inquisitive and hang on, am I recording? Just checking.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, okay. So stay inquisitive and always stay on your toes, gaining more knowledge and working on your own issues, whatever they are, whenever they come up. That's also a path that will never end. Yeah. To self-realization. And again, self-realization is also a path. So there's nobody's ever self-realized and finished in this life. You know what I mean? That doesn't exist. It's the way that leads us there. The one who is self-realized is not in this world. Yeah. We don't have self-realized beings in this world, other than a few gurus that come from the world of light. For some reasons we don't know why they choose to be here. Yeah. So I just talk you through a few ways to personal growth. There are so many, obviously. I can't cover them, and that's also not the majority of the course. We are just touching it in an hour or so. So you, of course, you all have your own ways. You own your own wisdom schools, your own teachers to follow, your own books that you like, or courses, or practices, and that's all good. Just stay with it and widen and broaden your perspective. Yeah. So first of all, keep participating in our workshops as far as your releasing of intergenerational trauma is regarded. Yeah. So that means the open workshops and the practice workshops, of course, wherever you have the chance to work on that. I have also every year supervision workshop. I don't know whether you've seen that on the website, but once you are working as a facilitator, there you can come and recap some foundational knowledge about facilitating family constellation, and we can also look at some client issue that you want to look at. Yeah. Continue reading uplifting literature. I still think, especially in this YouTube era, that's still probably the most important part of gaining knowledge, is to really dive into interesting literature and follow, kind of never stop studying in whatever time frame you have or whatever you like. Continue studying for yourself. Go to other retreats for personal growth. I think that is very important, that you stay, that you stay, whatever you do at the moment, that you continue to do that, because also this is never finished. If you like yoga retreats, go to yoga retreats, continue to do that. If you like meditation retreats, continue to do that. Just because you're studying family constellation facilitating doesn't mean that that is now the only way to live, and now the other parts of your life are becoming not important. That is not the case. Family constellation facilitating is about yourself and how much you can give. Yeah? And you can only give what you first have received. I would suggest, if you don't do that yet, to try out if a daily routine like meditation, yoga or so is something for you to stay connected with, first of all, yourself in self-realization, and of course the field, and that keeps you grounded on earth and centered in the truth. Yeah. And then, of course, for in terms of personal development, a big part of it is lifestyle choices. So we take our decisions in our own hands. So we decide about our lifestyle. Nobody else is dictating our lifestyle. Yeah. Not the media, not the peer group, not the parents, not the partner. It's about you, your personal preferences, and every lifestyle you have should be a decision you made after reflecting upon it. That also keeps you away from addiction. So here's a list of lifestyle choices I think are worth looking at, that you can decide if you want them or not. But really reflect, not now, but really reflect when you recap the video lecture, for example, or take a screenshot and really reflect on each and maybe more that come to your mind lifestyle choice, and make a list and reflect on each for a day or two, and find out if that is a deliberate decision you make for your personal development, for your growth, for your self-realization, that you want this lifestyle and not another. Yeah. So first of all, alcohol, of course. Yeah. It is such a common thing that we have a glass of wine after work, or beer, or this, and on a party we're drunken or something. That's fine if that's a choice. It is just every single time we are under the influence of any substances that is altering our reality, our perception, and our mind activities, we are vulnerable to, and we will talk about that in the next module, to other energies, because our guards are down, to other energies that we might not want, and they become part of our energy field, and they will be also part of your facilitating. Yeah. So that's one thing, one lifestyle choice you have to think about. Do I want to drink alcohol or do I not want to drink alcohol? That's like pregnancy. You can't be a little bit, it's not a little bit. You either don't drink or you drink. It doesn't matter how much it is. I tell you that. But take this all just as, of course, I'm not telling you what to do. This is just a recommendation, yeah? Of course, same with drugs. And when I say drugs, I'm not talking about only heavy drugs that I assume you're not taking, but also little drugs. Even I don't know, paracetamol that might you might take every day or regularly or whatnot. Yeah, just think about it. That is altering your biology. That is can alter your mind activities, your perception, and again, opens up your energy field to unwanted other things going on. Then we have smoking. I don't know how you think about smoking, but it's certainly a lifestyle choice to say, I'm a smoker, I'm a non-smoker. And that is not only the physical health, of course, yeah. And then which I'm big in, is the food lifestyle choice. I have decided 11 years ago, was it 11 years? Yeah, must be now, to be vegan. And since a few years, I'm keto vegan. And that had many reasons. I just remember that for me, it was an epiphany, following a certain yoga teaching, and thriving towards being compassionate to all beings, that was a must for me, this lifestyle choice, and I never looked back, not for 1 second. Yeah, so that's just a lifestyle choice you can think of. If there's anything that you want to change, reflect on it, do your research, and then make a decision. And when you made a decision, change, yeah, and never look back. Because change is not doing one thing one day and then the other. Change is you change. And you can change through lifestyle choices from inside out. You can either change inside and then it manifests as a lifestyle, or you can change your lifestyle choice and it will manifest inside over time. Yeah. Daily routine is what I just talked about. That's a lifestyle choice. If you want a daily routine, it helps many people to stay grounded and connected, to have higher vibrations and be calmer and more peaceful during the day. So up to you. But certainly, if you never had a daily routine, it's certainly worth trying it. That I'm thinking of meditation, chanting, praying, or yoga, or whatever rings your bell. Exercises is also a lifestyle choice. Of course, in a healthy mind wants a healthy body, because you want to sustain this mind as long as possible. So exercises always cling so hard. When I say exercises, I'm thinking, don't only be a brainy, just find one way of exercising, a sport, if you will, that really that you really like, that you really love, that you really like to do, preferable in a team, because they will make sure you're coming. You're doing it and you're not on your own. They will motivate you, and if it's a daily yoga practice or whatever it is, or you going to a handball team or whatever it is, yeah. But think about if you think that you have a physical um, that you have some physical exercises in your life on a regular basis that keep your body and your cardiovascular system healthy. Hmm? Reading, we talked about literature. I find that's very important. As more we have videos that are thrown on us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, as more I find it important that we really choose very good books and be able to focus on it and use it for self-development. And then and the other big thing next to food is, for my lifestyle choices, is connecting with nature. That is maybe easy when you live in New Zealand. It's probably more difficult when you live in a big city like in Indonesia or in Australia. But even more important it is to find time to be with nature. Nature where these mind activities, these crazy mind activities that are influencing our energy field all the time, is quiet. Because nature doesn't have a mind activity. There is no ego mind. And just to be there and soak it in, maybe even combine it with physical exercises through brisk walking or hiking or mountain biking or jogging or something like that, it's fantastic. Yeah. And it is really important that we give us this on a more or less daily basis, so we stay grounded and healthy and open and positive and, yeah, vibrating high with our energy. Animals are part of nature, of course, and one way or the other to connect with animals is also an interesting lifestyle choice. If you have a pet to look after and care for a pet and maybe learn from a pet, or if you just observe animals in nature, when you connect with nature, it doesn't matter. But animals are also outside of these mind activities, these ego mind activities, and therefore to connect with animals and nature is healing for us, quieting down these mind activities as much as meditation, yoga, and exercises and reading does, yeah, or any other creative activity. And then I don't know whether you are now smiling, but friends are lifestyle choices. Choose your friends wisely, yeah. Don't just make friends with whoever wants to befriend you. There can be lots of hidden agendas about that. Your time is precious, your energy is precious, and you don't want energy suckers in your closer vicinity. Yeah? You want to make sure that you meet up with friends who have at least the same level of energy that you have, not lower, because they would suck it up from you. And you might you might spontaneously think of somebody in your closer friendship circle around you that you feel about like that they are energy suckers, or not, well, that they are always complaining or talking negatively or talking about other people, or that they're just not uplifting you. Yeah. So that's a lifestyle choice. Do I want these friends or not? Yeah. And that's an important lifestyle choice. And just a word in that regard, you will never regret. You will never regret to end a friendship that doesn't serve you, because you're just opening up to a whole lot of new friends that are much better match with your state of development wherever you are, right? Not every friend is developing with you, obviously, right? They stay behind. If you climb up the ladder of personal development, yeah, some of your friends won't. But there will be others that you can meet that are, yeah. So don't shy away from that. Don't feel insecure. Don't let fear make any decisions about your lifestyle. Yeah. Not fear that drives it. It's love, the love towards yourself, the care you want to put in your self-realization and into your personal development. That's the decision. Right. Let's see if there are any questions or if you want some remarks, you want to share something. And hey, Celine, can I ask you to sit somewhere quietly? You are moving about, and I'm getting confused.
Sorry, Maya. I'm currently at a family lunch, but I'm able to join. What do you think? Should I join at 2 or should I just put the screen off for now?
Oh yeah, turn your video off then.
Screen off, yeah?
Yeah, turn your video off. Will you be able for the exercise to be present?
Maybe at 2:30 I would be home.
Well, let's see. So stay in the
Jakarta
call.
time.
Yeah, stay in the call, but turn your video off, eh?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, just you can listen then, okay? All right. So, would you like to share something, your thoughts on personal development? What I have just suggested. What are you doing? Do you have a plan for that? Just shoot. I would be interested to hear what you have to say. Virna.
I was going to ask, can you see us? The choosing of friends has been kind of like big. Of course, it has been a little while ago, like few years since I changed friendship. But it's one of the ones that hurt sometimes, to get rid of, oh, this person, step by step, kind of like, oh, I'm gonna end up on my own. Sometimes I'm on my own and I'm like, oh gosh, I ended up, not being surrounded by anybody. But it's my focus on what is I find that is my development. Yeah. So it's worth it, and painful at the same time. That's what I have found. And food, I find a little bit difficult to switch completely, even though I don't eat meats. It has been for a few years, 2, 3, and but egg has been one thing that sometimes I don't eat any more egg. But it's like I look back because what's the replacement of egg? Then I'm again like, okay, I'm not gonna eat anymore, and then I come back.
So how did it feel when you changed your food choices, and how did it feel? Yeah, let's stay with the food lifestyle. How was it for you when you changed it?
Good.
Did you feel any different?
Yes, definitely. The digesting of the beef was really a struggle. Any, red meats, and then I started from there, and then I didn't feel like eating chicken. So it was kind of like slowly changing. I didn't have to really make a big effort. Then, yeah, like right now, the big effort has been egg.
Okay, very good.
But if it's fully vegan, it's fine. It feels good. Yeah.
Good. So thank you for sharing, Verna. I wasn't, this is not a talk about veganism, and I'm not suggesting you go vegan. It's just it could be a food choice like going whole food, yeah, or organic, or saying, okay, I don't want to eat this particular food anymore, like sugar, for example, sugar-free. That's a lifestyle choice. Or I don't want to drink any sugary drinks anymore. I want to drink more clean water. Yeah. Or I'm kind of not fancying coffee anymore. I drink herbal tea. That's lifestyle choices as well, right? So all of these are lifestyle choices.
All of that has been added.
Yeah.
Sugar is still there, but I'm conscious about it. Yeah.
And that's the most important part, that we are not consuming things just because our parents have dished that up all our lives, or our peer group is doing. Just make your own choices. Yeah. That's the message here. Anybody else wants to share? Have you ever changed one of the listed lifestyles, and how was it for you?
I've had big lifestyle changes in my earlier years. You know, a big life history. I used to take a lot of drugs, and
A lot of
so
what?
that was
Sorry,
a big life.
can you say it again, Catherine?
I used to take a lot of drugs, and so I had some big lifestyle changes there. I'm talking 20, 30 years ago.
Yes.
Now I sort of go with this poem. It's a 2-line poem. I know the point of balance. I swing past it all the time. So I sort of noodle around this point of balance, you know, like,
Okay.
oh, I'm a bit busy. I need my friends, and now I need some, you know, rest and
All right.
yeah, it's. I would like it to be a little easier. Like even tonight, you know, if I had my choice, I'd be resting for the week ahead, and I've tried to rest today to come, you know, but it's a little bit of a just. I'm not going to get it perfect.
Oh, well, as long as you are observing it and you know what your goal is, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And especially that you can observe your choices and how you go about. And don't ever feel guilty.
Well,
What you do is what you do. You can decide to swing. That's a decision. Yeah. So you don't need to feel guilty about it, right?
Yeah.
That's
just on the
important.
word guilt, I'll just flag a family constellation for that, because it's being brought up Catholic. That was our middle name, Guilt.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course, yes, it is. And this to undo, is like unraveling a really messed up ball of yarn. You know, it looks like impossible. It looks impossible, but you just take your time. You eventually find the loose thread, and then you just pull one at a time, and it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the constellations. Yeah.
Okay, very good, excellent, very good. All right, anybody else would like to share about your lifestyle? Katharina, did you had your hand up?
Yes, I just wanted to share, like, I already doing some yoga meditation. I'm like kind of exercise doing quite well. I ran today 30 Ks over the Mount Herbert. I'm very tired today.
Yeah.
And also I'm doing a little bit change of my friends. I have here lots of Czech friends, like community, but I'm single at the moment, and after losing my son, all the friends like in the age already, they are pregnant or with the kids. So I feel like I don't want, I want to just find another community, people like with my age, single, and to a little bit get inspired. But I feel guilty just, to leave them and move on.
Okay.
You know?
Well, there's certainly no need, right, to feel guilty about changing friends. Friendship has a beginning and an end. Just think about how the friendship, that's like my go-to approach. Just think about when and how a specific friendship started. Every friendship started somewhere, and just think about it, and think about how it was before that. Did you miss them? No, of course not. Right? And now you just have to think, okay, so there was a life before them, and now is a life after them. It's that easy, right? And if you don't let go of friends that doesn't serve you anymore, then you have no time and no space for other friends that would be more in your on your current wavelength, you know.
Yes.
So we have to make decisions. We cannot
Mhm.
just collect friends and friends and friends.
Mhm.
Oh, we have
Yes, true.
we have a lot of time to put into our self-development, where we on our own, obviously we walk the path alone, right? I mean, the path to self-realization, we walk alone, every one of us. Yeah, there is no way that you walk that holding hand with somebody. Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. You don't need to compromise. It's your path, and you can walk it. Yeah, and then there is the society around that we want to fit in to a certain extent. Yeah, which is fine. But we don't have, like, if you think of a cake, we don't have the whole cake as a matter of time to spend with societal thing. We have like a big slice of it. That's our part where we want to follow our path, our passion, our self-realization. So there's a slice of the cake for social interactions is small, right? How precious is the time that you cut out there to spend with family or with friends? There's no time to waste, right?
True.
So, very good. Well, excellent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to share whatever comes to mind about this topic? Or something that you follow, like a spiritual teaching or something about self-realization? Celine?
Is the voice okay though?
Yes,
Currently
very
I'm at
good.
a, yeah, okay. I really agree with the lifestyle that you listed, Maya. For me, my past, I used to feel lonely because I somewhat lost the father figure, right? So my addiction before was alcohol. Then I
What
drink a
was it?
lot of it.
Can you,
Alcohol.
alcohol? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I drink a lot of it. I can feel the energy change. I can feel how it turned my mind to depression.
Mm-hmm.
And then on my side, I found God. So spiritual, I guess.
Yes.
Spiritual findings. And then from there I cut all of my party friends. Yeah. I would designate them as like party friends. So yeah, I cut them out.
Wow.
I was in a church community, and then yeah, so that's when the change really began, because then I can start focusing on myself. So there are no more alcohol, no more. I never smoke and drugs, so just alcohol. Then I started working out and yoga, and it does really help to, and nature also, and animals like you mentioned. It helps you to be more present, and I feel like you are more attuned to the energy surrounding you. I guess that's the word to put it. So yeah, your
Wonderful.
lists are spot
Yes.
on.
Wonderful. Celine, that's wonderful to hear. And thank you for sharing your path of making drastic lifestyle choices against, what everybody does around you. That's the most difficult path. And well done. And we are normally inspired when you say you were inspired, you found God over this way, which is great. There are, if you're not religious, there are other spiritual teachers that will, help you as well. And sometimes a book can be like that, your kind of your guide, how to change, yeah, and let the book just find you. It will be coming to you if that's what you need. Yeah. Thank you, Celine. Very good. Okay, shall we move on? Has everybody had a go?
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, let's talk about emotion. Now, when we talk about lifestyle choices and everything before, it is a mind activity. Right? You fail decisions with your conscious decisions, yeah? Emotions are not created consciously normally. They are created subconsciously. So, we need not only to look at our lifestyle choices that we have control over with our conscious mind, we also need to look at emotions that we seemingly have no control over, but they are holding us back, and how we can solve this situation. And I just want to touch on something like the dark night of the soul, maybe something you have heard before. Anybody has heard of the dark night before? Is that a term you know? Yeah, Maya and Evelyn? Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about that, Maya?
It is a. I'm not. It's a particular experience that's very. You know, it can be experienced as it is, like a very dark experience, but it has a very transformative effect. It you know, one of the mythologies is Demeter and her daughter, you know, going into the dark, going into the underground and then re-emerging. I've forgotten the myth in detail.
That's all right. And I'm sure there are many myths, actually, not just one.
But,
yeah.
Yes, it is very transformative, but very what is it? It strips away. It strips away at your particular, you know, your what is it? Customary way of experiencing things. You somehow emerge larger.
Yeah.
If you can what is it? Live through it in the truest sense.
Yeah. Very good. Excellent. Well, you explained it wonderfully. I don't need to add much to it. Evelyn, do you want to add something to that? It's pretty covered everything. Historically, the dark night of the soul is from the Middle Ages and coming from the monks and from some religious teaching, Christianity, that it is this transformative journey where you have to go through all your fears. All your fears. It's like the priestesses in ancient Egypt going in the pyramid in these chambers, go through all their fears within, I don't know, 8 days or 8 days and nights in darkness, go through all their fears and come out strong with a lion. That's the, you know, the myth from the ancient Egypt. For us, this is the same transformative process. There are two ways to look at it. The first way is you can't force it. It happens to you. And it will happen to everyone who is earnestly seeking to reach the highest potential possible. It will happen because we all are loaded with fears. And as long as we nicely suppress the fears, yeah, we can completely fine live, but we will not evolve because the underlying emotion is fear that we are suppressing, right? And that costs enormous amounts of energies, this act of suppressing as well. And we will not have this energy for our spiritual evolvement or personal development. So once you decide you are on the path to self-realization, it will happen one way or the other, because this is where we dissolve all the fears at once. And this is why we're also fearing the dark night of the soul, because we are facing our demons there. Some use substances like ayahuasca, for example, is a very common method, or mushrooms or something, to evoke this event. I don't think that is possible, and I think that's a fantasy. I don't think that it is that transforming the fear. However, I'm saying that, thinking about it, it's probably not correct, because if you are guided to do that in a certain specific situation in your life, you might be ready for it. However, I'm just saying you don't need any substances. You don't need ayahuasca. You don't need mushrooms. You don't need nothing. Yeah, you just have the intention to let go of unsolved emotion and overcome fear. Any fear. Really any fear. The fear we talked about yesterday about speaking in public to the fear of dying. That is this range, yeah? And that can be all overcome because it's only fear. It's only this one emotion of fear. And we can overcome that. And when we overcome that, we live. There is actually not really living before we overcome fear. Yeah? We don't know how it is to fully live our individual, creative, happy lives before we have not overcome all fear. So the dark night of the soul is kind of, I like this, the English term grace is sent by grace. Yeah. And then you go through it and you come out on the other side so much lighter with all the package shed. And it might not be pleasant, it certainly not is, but it serves the purpose. So intention is all you need. Intention, and stick with your choices. Yeah. Stick on the path that you have chosen with the intention to overcome fear. And it will happen, and that's fine, because once you go through it, nobody's dying in the dark night of souls. Don't think you're gonna die there. You go through it. It's just emotions. It's just emotions, yeah. And then they will be settled and solved at the other end of the tunnel. We have also blind spots or holes or shadow aspects. There are so many terms for the same thing. That is just referring to an emotion that is unsolved in yourself. And because it's unsolved, it's lingering around, you cannot reflect it when you see it in others. You basically don't see it in yourself and not in others. You're blind to that. And that is not helping as a healer. As a healer, you want to have no blind spots, because then you can see every unsolved emotion in the other, right? And not just a small fraction of it. So we want to find our blind spots with solving emotions. Of course, our preferred method is family constellation, of course, but there are others we will talk about that can help with this path. Family entanglements are one part that we also solve with our work. Conditioned beliefs is also something we need to solve. Conditioned beliefs are those that we have been adopted as children. When we are in alpha theta state, from in the womb already till maximum 7 years, we are so susceptible to influences from our parents, from our society, from our relatives, from wherever we live in, the culture we're living in, yeah, that is so embedded that it is really hard to get out of there unless we make a choice, we choose to step out. Yeah, we just choose it, and then let it. Everything else is by grace. How it happens, when it happens, what exactly happens, it's out of our hands, but we have the intention. The intention is the power that we have. The intention is what will guide the way. We have so-called trapped emotions. That is emotions that you have trapped when in shock. And we all have trapped emotions, because sometimes we are just in shock. Just to be caught off guard is already putting the body in shock, when can trap an emotion, yeah? For example, if you're spooked by somebody, yeah? Just somebody said, boo, yeah? And you are caught off guard, that can trap the emotion of fear. So we want to release these trapped emotions as much as we want to, for example, solve a family entanglement. Then we have such a thing as lakatosis. I love this term. It's a term that is created by a spiritual teacher, Ramtha. I don't know whether you have ever heard of him, but anyhow, he had a beautiful speech that I adored, where he said, we are all suffering under leckatosis. And what is that? That is the word lack put into the context of a disease. So that means we are in constant state of lacking something. We need something, you know. We always want something. We always find there's something lacking in our life that we need to achieve. That is a problem. And that is also a problem when we want to solve our unsolved emotions. Yeah. And that is why I would like you to understand that this is happening. You don't do that. You are guided to do that. And that's happening by grace or by your higher self guidance. Yeah. So you don't need to go out and seek everything. You just need to follow your passion and your intuition. That will guide you, because if you come from the state of little old me, I don't have that, but I need it, now I want that, you are vibrating very low, okay? On the low frequency of desire. That is completely different to set an intention and let it go. And give it over to your higher self, to the universe, to God, to grace, whatever you call it, to look after you. And let it happen. Yeah. So we are then also letting go of leckatosis, because we admit that we are already whole, who we are. We don't need to add anything to make us better as we are. In this moment, in this time, where we are perfect. Because our soul journey led us there. And therefore, we are perfect. Our mind cannot decide when we are perfect and when we are not perfect. Our mind is in constant leckatosis. Our mind will constantly find something that needs to be added. But on a soul journey, it cannot be different as it is now, right here. And then just need your intention. Add the intention, I want to evolve. I want to go into high. I want to be more compassionate to all beings. That is the highest intention to achieve. And then let it happen. Yeah. Right. So what do we have? So the emotions that are trapped, either through conditioning or through shock or through whatever we discussed before, yeah, they are manifesting in our emotional body. Now we go about the personal emotional vibration and our emotional body, all in module, I think it's module 4, not 5, next module. So I'm just touching on it, and you will remember it next month. There is where I show you the way how to get out of this cycle of leckatosis and being in low vibrating emotions, always thinking something is missing, I'm not right, I need to add something, I'm not good enough, I'm not this, I'm not that. Yeah, and I'm afraid, of course, of anything. So there are some very easy ways to get rid of current trapped emotion, and some other to get rid of former trapped emotion. They are lingering around for a long time. If it's just from now on the decision or the intention, I don't want to trap emotions anymore, then all you need to do is have a clearing ceremony in the morning or in the nighttime, whenever you think you want to do it, and just reflect on the day and find out if anything has emotionally touched you. Just, go through your day. Yeah. Was anything happening that has emotionally touched me? And then you see this emotion, and you, with a deep exhale, you just let it go. First, you need to see it, be aware of it, and then you let it go, and it's gone out of your emotional body. It is not as easy for older trapped emotions, but there are many ways we can use, or many methods we can use to clear that over time as well. There is, for example, one of my favorite methods, the emotion code from Dr. Nelson. Have you ever heard of that? Nobody? Highly recommend that. It's actually even available online for free. The basic teachings of him. The emotion code from Dr. Nelson, fantastic. You can use a pendulum or whatever method you have. And the emotion code that he's freely offering online for free to find out trapped emotions and clear them. You can start with doing that every day. And then you will see it will be lesser and lesser and lesser until you don't have trapped emotions anymore and you only have to clear new emotions if you trap them over the day. Yeah. And then we have meditation. Some people are very good at just letting go of a trapped emotion in meditation or in breathing exercises. Of course, that is also a very good method. And others, there are plenty. I don't know them all. I'm just sharing here with you my favorite ways to deal with it. So now we ask ourselves, how do we avoid trapping new emotions? Well, because we have raised our energy high. As high our energy is, meaning as positive our underlying current emotion is. Yeah? When our emotion is high, when we are at the state of happiness, for example, we are not trapping any emotion. The emotion can only be trapped when you are lower vibrating as the emotion, and we only trap low vibrating emotions. So we need to be down, we need to be sick, we need to be sad, we need to be vulnerable, we need to be in shock, we need to be traumatized, we need something keeps us on a low vibrating emotion, and then we just continue to gather other low vibrating emotion. But as soon as you have risen up over that, and we will talk about the, have we done that before? Have we already talked about the map of consciousness of Dr. Hawkins? No, I think that, have we? I think that comes, no, it comes in module 4. So there, I will show you how this scientifically looks like and why we only get out of all of that when we raise our vibrations. Permanently higher than these low vibrating emotions that can be trapped. All right, so conditioned beliefs, how do we change them? Well, it's subconsciously in the informing field that we get from parents, caretakers, teachers, churches, communities, family members or so. They give us their beliefs and we just soak them up because we're in alpha theta state and we just, we grow up with it, yeah? And that's fine. That's how life just is, yeah? We have to go through that. So what I would invite you to do is to address all beliefs, especially those that you have not consciously adopted. Yeah. So beliefs that you still, when you think about it, have from your childhood. Just think about them and question them as you question old friends. Do they still serve you? Just find out how much you can find out about your belief systems that you have been brought up, that you still, if you want it or not, follow in one way or the other. Life is life is creativity. Life is about individuality. Life is about no other soul has exactly the same experience like you, is on the exactly same journey. It's all about you finding your own path. Yeah. And as more trapped emotions we have, as more conditioned belief systems we have, as more we are held back to walk on our own path. Yeah. And of course, that is what we don't want, because we want to develop. We want to rise the ladder of consciousness and go up and up and up, and not stay there forever in on a certain level of consciousness, if you will. So now we have an exercise. Before we go in the exercise, are there questions what we talked about that we want to address before? You're good? All right. I hope, Celine, you can do the exercise, because otherwise we have an uneven number. Can you? Yeah, if you unmute.
I can do the exercise, but currently I'm walking to the car, so on the way home.
All right. Okay. Well, okay. So that's the exercise. I would like you to gather together with a partner in the breakout room and talk about the trapped emotions, the belief system, the lifestyle choices that you think in yourself needs to be addressed to heal yourself and your family system. Yeah. And the other partner is not there to comment on it. That is an important information. You are not commenting on it. You are receiving what they say. Yeah. You're receiving what you're open, you're receiving what they say, but you are not judging it through commenting. Yeah. Okay. So one is talking, the other is listening, and then the other is talking, and the first one is listening. Yeah. It's not a dialogue that you talk about somebody else. Yeah. You understand the difference? Is that clear? You're not discussing it, if it's good or bad. You're reflecting on it and help your partner to find what their belief systems, lifestyle choices, and trapped emotions could be. Yeah? Okay. And we have, how long do we have for that? I don't remember. 10 minutes. And you don't need to swap, really. It goes back and forth, ping pong. Yeah? You don't need to swap. And I will check in with you after 5 minutes if you're okay, if you need anything. And by the way, this is also a brilliant exercise to practice silent and waiting and just sitting with somebody who is talking without the urge to answer to that, without the urge to comment on that. Yeah? Just receiving like a facilitator, waits in silence and just receives what the client says and what's coming from the energy field. Yeah. So that's the other part of the exercise. Okay. Good. Now remind me when I put you into breakout, and then after we shared, then we have our break. Now remind me, with whom have you not been yet in an exercise? Who knows?
I haven't been with Evelyn or Maya.
You haven't been with, so, say it again?
With Evelyn or Maya.
Okay, I put you in with Maya then. Nice. And then the next one, Katharina?
I think I haven't been with Celine.
You have not been with Celine yet. Okay, good. And that leaves Evelyn and Virna. I think, have you been together already? Oh, no, good. Perfect. Okay, seems to be perfect. Very good. All right, here you go. Here we go. Okay. So we talked already about the dark night of the soul. This is just one of the definitions. As we talked about that before, there are many. They all have the same groundwork that it is the seeker of truth and self who has experienced the dark night of the soul. Yeah, because it is like an initiation. So once you've been through that, it can only get better from there, if you will. It is described as a period of utter spiritual desolation, disconnection, and emptiness, in which one feels separated from the divine, totally lost, hopeless, without meaning in life. Yeah. And it's like you have to come to the bottom of it all to rise up from there. When like all your values are crumbling and falling apart, that's the best foundation for your spiritual awakening and your self-realization. The signs are sleeplessness, fear and horror without any reason. It feels like a deep depression. It's questioning the meaning of life. Nothing brings joy, and no one seems to be able to help. Yeah, that's like we feel in this moment that we are all on our own, and there is no help. And it is a collapse of values as well, often accompanied with the other signs. Oopsie, Marja is coming in. You might have even visitors in the night or out of body experiences, signs which I can guide you through this phase. So there will be guidance. Yeah, eventually there will be guidance. You just need to trust and be prepared. This is why we talk about that. Because if it happens to you, you know what it is for, and you know how it feels, and you know you will get through it. And you will come out much stronger. When I say ask for help, I mean spiritually, to ask a spiritual guide or teacher of yours to help. Yeah. If you have somebody, or your higher self, your own guidance, of course. After going through the dark night of the soul, you will experience a change of perception. You will feel a lightness in your beingness. New goals and motivation will arise, and you will feel a stronger connection to the divine and a new sense of self. So that's all worth it to go through, to experience that. And then we talk about blind spots, every aspect in yourself that you have not looked at nor brought into light is called a spiritual or emotional blind spot. When working with a client and a similar issue comes up, you're unable to see it in your client. Clearing blind spots is a result of continuing with the work of self-realization, self-development, personal development, everything we talked about, releasing trapped emotions, not trapping new emotions, raising the vibration, raising the energy level, finding meaning in life, aspiring to get out of selfishness and into unconditional love towards all beings. Every time when you're attending a family constellation, of course, another aspect of yourself will be revealed and blind spots will be cleared. And that doesn't mean that you have to work on it in the constellation. Just by being chosen as a representative and resonating with this particular aspect of the family member, of somebody else's family system, is somehow also working on your shadow aspect. Yeah. That is the magic about family constellation and how we are connecting there, and how especially the group experiences are so strong. Unsolved family entanglements are a form of blind spots, of course. So for the family constellation facilitator, it's extremely important to go through and find all the blind spots and solve them for yourself. They're especially important to be looked at, cleared up when starting to work with family constellation. Yeah. And then, of course, one of our biggest blind spots are the motherhood or the interrupted movement towards the mother. And a resolved mother relationship is also not only key to success, in life, but also key to success in finding your spiritual meaning and your path to self-realization. Lacatosis is this neediness I talked before. There's always something lacking, and it is first and foremost the need to be loved, the need to be accepted, the need to be seen, the need to be wanted, and worse, the need to be needed. Yeah, that's a need. So when you think, oh, as a family constellation facilitator, I am needed to help others out of their problems, you are in the state of lacatosis. When you need this need, when there is this need to be needed. So these are really subtle needs that I would like you to contemplate on and be honest with yourself when you have a quiet minute next week and find out if there's any need in your life, the need to be loved, the need to be accepted, the need to be seen, the need to be wanted, and the need to be needed, that you can connect with and where it comes from, and if you can let that go and how you would do that. It's up to you. It's not an official exercise. It's just, I just give you that on your way. That is very helpful if you can look at that and find out at which state of lacatosis you are. What are your needs? For a family constellation facilitator, this is a real trap. They need the group experience. They only feel seen, wanted, accepted, and loved and needed when they can lead a group. Yeah, it's like an addiction, and that is a trap to fall into. Yeah. So when you are able to shed these needs or minimize them, so you don't need the group experience, you don't need to be leading a group, or you don't need to be part of a group neither, in order to be happy and fulfilled. That is a perfect foundation to be a very good family constellation facilitator. And one more thing that has also to do with the mother. The group stands for the mother, right? I'm sure we talked about that before. So when you discover in yourself or somebody else there is a need for the group experience, then there is a need for mother's love as well. Right. Okay. So we are here at troubleshooting. So this is concluding where we go into our personal development. Is there anything you would like to talk about, what we haven't talked about yet, or ask questions or add something to it before we move on to troubleshooting?
Maya?
Yes.
I was just thinking about that mother relationship is key to success. And it could be that there, is this right, that it could be an entanglement also of your father's mother or something, the mother relationship there.
Your father's mother. In this way, I think I talk about your relationship with your mother.
You're right.
The way to success, right? Yes, of course, there are many entanglements possible in both maternal and paternal line, but this particular need for the group is the need for our own mother, yeah. That's something to reflect on. That you see that in family constellations a lot, especially when they dismiss their own mother, they dismiss the group. They turn that they kind of start to argue or get angry with the group or stamp out of the room. I have seen that, and then that is a clear sign that they are dismissing their mother because they have a deep-rooted interrupted movement towards the mother. And in this case, of course, it's the easiest to facilitate interrupted movement with them to clear that that side. Yeah, but yes, of course, there are many of entanglements possible that are influencing success in different shapes and forms. But we first start to work with the mother, with the closest. Yeah, and when when this movement has come when this movement has been enabled towards the mother, and it's constantly, I tell you, everybody is working on it till the end of the life, more or less. Yeah. So when this movement is enabled and it's flowing, the love is flowing there, then that is the foundation for success in all walks of life, like personal, health, workplace, money, infertility issues, and so on. It's very, very, very fundamental. This is why we always work with the mother and family constellation. And that's also why when you start, you will have tons of mother work. That is our daily bread and butter, no? Because that is just so important. And many, 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 or most people start there when they come to family constellation. Okay. Right. Okay. So I picked some challenging situations I want to talk you through. I cannot pick everything. Everything can happen. Most things maybe haven't even happened to me yet, so I don't know. But there are two common challenges in family constellations that I can talk you through and demonstrate to you that you can handle with the tools I give you. So the first is mentally impaired participants, and then the other one are family secrets. So mentally impaired participants, signs of a mentally impaired. Yes. Who's speaking?
Suddenly you go froze. Suddenly your voice went.
Who's speaking?
Birna.
Hello, Birna. Yeah, say it again.
Suddenly your voice froze for a moment, and your picture as well.
Yeah. What have you not heard? Can you see the chart? Mentally impaired participants?
Yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah.
That's the most important part. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So, signs of a mentally impaired person in a family constellation workshops are, first of all, they can't comply with any rules. Yeah. So remember when we talked yesterday, setting rules at the beginning of the workshop. If you have somebody who cannot stick to the rules, who wants to talk in a constellation, who wants to run out, needing to go to the toilet in a constellation, who is lying down on the floor and doesn't want to sit on their chair, be aware that that can be a sign of somebody who is mentally challenged. Yeah. Because, why am I saying that? Because the people come to this workshop and they pay for it because they want to get the experience as you provided, right? That's the whole purpose of it. Yeah. And if there is then a resistance to it, and if they can't comply, although they came to do so, then there's something, something challenging them. These are also persons that demand your attention all the time, like, and through their behavior also demand your attention. That goes hand in hand, if you will. They are never content with the outcome. They always want more, whatever it is. That is also a sign. Not one sign of it is like, it's not you run around and look at people and who are not content with what the outcome is, say you are mentally impaired. This is an accumulation of signs. Yes, so there need to be like an accumulation of signs before we come to this conclusion. And this is also not a diagnosis. We are not diagnosing anybody. This is what comes up in a family constellation, and then how you have to deal with this special participant. Because otherwise it can interrupt your workshop tremendously if you don't understand what's going on with them. They do like to run in and out. It's not like, Evelyn, that they just run out and vanish. that's kind of not happening, not as I know of, but they do like to run in and out of the room and leave the seat, and their unrest, yeah, they often actually run in circles. I had one participant in one particular workshop I'm thinking of. She was in a representative role, and she was, you know how I say the movements of the souls are slow, yeah, slow motion. And I, of course, tell everybody that. And she was in a representative role, and she was rushing to somebody and aggressive. And I said, go back where you were, take a step. And she couldn't. She had to rush. She had to run. She just could not take, you know, she just could not take it slow. And that was not coming from the fear, that coming from her mind. And her mind was a little bit crazy in this regard. So then finally she ran out of the room, and we saw her pacing up and down the window, talking to herself. Yeah. And then she kind of,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
It's been frozen from the time you said I grabbed her by the arm. Then we lost everything from there.
Oh, I was hoping that the internet connection will stay put. Let's give it another try. I hope it's not getting worse than that. So you were listening to me while I was talking about this particular participant, right? In the workshop. Okay. So she ran out of the room. She paced up and down in front of the window, talking to herself, and then coming in and saying, I'm in this role, I need to get out of this role, this whatever, this person is with me. And of course I knew that's not the case. It is her particular problem that has been now kind of multiplied or challenged. And, you know, whatever you do, you calm them down, let her do that thing, and don't give too much notice until they calm down. That's the best thing. If it's mentally impaired, you don't want to give them more attention, because that is kind of feeding it. Yeah. And then many weeks later, I talked to somebody who knew her very well, which wasn't was incidental. And then I heard that she has mental health problems, and she is actually for years in you know, in treatments. And anyhow, so that has just reassured me that that is how you see people who have mental challenges, and they will probably come to family constellation, and they will most likely claim that they are possessed with the family member they are representing. Yeah. And just be aware that's not true. If you follow what I teach you here to just connect to the morphogenetic field, yeah, and do not invite any lingering souls or spirits, which we don't do, there is no way that one of your representatives can be possessed. That's,
can I ask a question?
Yes,
here?
of course.
Right, just quickly. With some people, you know, and as you said, that particular person had like she was in treatment for some kind, you know, some kind. Now, if are some people too vulnerable to participate in a family constellation? For example, if they have, when they have their chronically poor boundaries, you know, maybe, you know, I hesitate to use a diagnosis, but, you know, having had psychotic or whatever experience, then they may feel that they're being overtaken, or that's what they're labeling. I don't know. I was just sort of like, are there some people that are too vulnerable to do family constellations?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually true. So when you look in my terms and conditions on the website, everybody has to, like, who's reading them, is aware that I am saying if you take part in the workshop, you have to be mentally stable. or something. I don't know exactly how I worded.
I remember that. Yeah.
You do not want to have mentally impaired people in your family constellation if you can avoid it, because you cannot help them. I have never seen a way to help them, quite frank, and they will disrupt you, and they will also, especially when you're a beginner facilitator, they will make you nervous and feeling responsible, because that's what they are good at, to load their problems onto others. And then you might take all the attention away from your group and from facilitating to this person, and that will jeopardize, of course, your experience, your group that will jeopardize your workshop, of course.
So the question,
yes, Evelyn,
what if the person says, like, for example, they've got bipolar and they're on medication or something like that, or that would you just say no, they can't participate? That's one question. And also the other question would be, how do you know if the person is in a constellation, if the person is themselves mentally unstable or has got mental health issues, or if they're representing someone in the constellation?
I can tell you that in great detail, which is coming in the next slide for the second question. And for the first question is, yes, if I would be a beginner facilitator, I would, if somebody reveals to me that they are taking medication, I would tell them not to come when they have a mental issue and when they are under drugs. Yes, I would not take them if I would know that that's the case. And then to the second question, to answer your second question, you have clear signs. You have clear signs in a family constellation how a mentally impaired family member looks like, and everyone can represent that. Like, everybody can be chosen to represent that. That is not that doesn't mean that the representative of a mentally impaired family member of somebody's family system is also mentally impaired. That's not the case. So a clear sign is that they are.
Some of that, Maya. We missed some of that beginning of what you just said. That was
a clear sign of a mentally impaired family member of a family system that is represented is when they run around in circles. Can you hear that? They literally run around in circles. They either run around in small circles or they run around in big circles. And that is a sign that you have schizophrenia in the family system. And when you do that online, when you only see the face, the top of the body, they will sway their head like this, and that is a clear sign. And that's the only sign I'm aware of. Okay. Coming back to some of the symptoms that you're dealing with the mentally impaired participants, they take over a role without being asked. So they jump off their chair, go into the constellation, say, I'm being called into that. It is one thing to think that one is called into it. It's the other thing to do it without the approval of the facilitator, right? That's a difference. And that's also a case of not following the rules. They would ignore what the facilitator wants. They would ignore the rule, and they would say, I know I have to be there. You can say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm going in there and I am representing, That is also a sign that that is a challenged person, I talked about that. They claim not to be able to get out of the role. Is normally also a sign of that. if it's severe. Some have mild symptoms, like they have this feeling they can't get rid of and so on. And then when I discuss that with the representative or the participant, then I of course explain that they are resonating with their own emotions, that their own emotions they are feeling, not the family members' emotions. They have just been chosen for the role because they have the same issue. Yeah, and now they are in their issue, which is fine. That's what we want. Yeah, so that's not a problem. Yeah, but if somebody says I'm possessed with a family member, like their spirit is here and I'm not myself anymore, it's them, that is certainly not possible, and that is certainly some mental issues going on here. When they hear voices, of course, when they want to tell you what to do, that's also either an over ego identification, which is borderline to a mental disease. And then we have, of course, the worst case, schizophrenia. Yeah. So one of the reasons of schizophrenia in a family system is when you have two family members, they have opposing entanglements, they cannot be cleared, and one descendant is rare, but it can happen. One descendant is entangled with both of them. Yeah, so there is no solution. That is an entanglement that can cause schizophrenia, right? If one can be helped in a family constellation or not, that is a case to case. You know, you have to see it case to case. I can't give a general answer there. In general, it is very, very difficult to heal schizophrenia, and that's not only for school medicine who says that, but that is also an observation from family constellation. It's not often is not in the cards of this family system to heal it. So the signs in schizophrenia is exactly what I just said. This representative would run around in circles. And once you have seen it, you know exactly why, because I told you that. You would once you have seen it, you would exactly know what it means and how it looks. It's very distinct and it's fast. They are not going step by step. They are running. And that's how you see it. So how to deal with schizophrenia family system? You can constellate, as you have learned, with the orders of love, finding what means, but don't worry if no movement seems to happen. That is possible, it is likely, and then you have to break it up and just trust that it all was what it had to be. More wasn't possible. Yeah. The worst thing is that you go on and on and on and try to, you know, come to a happy end. That is not what you do. You go, you facilitate the way you have learned. You see if there's something moving going on. If you have done everything you can possibly do, break it up. Because that's it. It's no movement possible. And that is likely when there's schizophrenia in the family. Right. There is actually on our training community page on the website, there's actually a whole thread where we talk about schizophrenia and where Bert Hellinger videos are linked about schizophrenia. So if you are interested in this topic, look there. I just can tell you this is not our main focus because we don't have that very often. And we want to focus on these cases we have a lot. And that is, we have normally mentally healthy participants who have their burdens, physical or emotional burdens, and we help them with family constellations. That's it. Yeah. And we're not focusing on the unlikely event that we have a nutcase there that we cannot handle. Yeah. That probably never happens ever in your lifetime. So don't be too worried about that. Okay. Much more often is the case of a family secret. That is something you will see for sure. And there is a very distinct sign for a family constellation. And it is so funny. I always teach that at this point. I always teach it. And when it comes up in a practice workshop, nobody knows it. This is so weird, but it is so simple. So, mark my words, the sign of a family secret in a family system is when none of the representatives are looking at each other or moving towards each other. That's it. It's as that easy, yeah? And I will demonstrate that. I hope the internet connection stays put. I wanted to demonstrate that to you on the figurine board. These
Maya, I might be able to assist with that because I think we've got a family secret in our family.
Aha,
we
very
could,
good.
try that sometime.
Yeah, we will definitely take that, Evelyn. Very good. The family secret will remain unsolved in a constellation if you don't detect it, right? Obviously. And the family secret will do this and say, ha ha, ha ha, I fooled all of you. So, the fun fact is that sometimes you work with a client, there is a family secret, and for some reason you don't detect it. But just by the intent to reveal it through the constellation, sometimes this family secret is revealed to the client after the constellation by a family member. I have had 2 cases that was the case. 2 times that the client came after a few weeks or even days after the workshop and said, you wouldn't believe that, but I was to this anniversary and there was my granny. And all of a sudden she took me aside and she said to me, blah, 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 whatever it was. And she hadn't talked to anybody about that yet. So the family constellation is setting movements into motion, even if you don't come to a conclusion, yeah? So what do we do when we know it's a case of a family secret? We add a representative for the secret to the constellation and observe the movements, because now everyone will move once this family secret is represented. So that is our exercise or our demonstration that is concluding today. We will work with a family secret. Yeah, I will demonstrate that on the figurine board. I don't know how long it takes. And before we do that, I will leave you with another quote that's from Rainer Maria Rilke again, the poet that Bert Hellinger loved so much, and I love it too, and many, many people love it. Be patient with all that is unsolved in your heart and love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not seek the answers which cannot be given to you because you would not be able to lift them. The questions have a life of their own. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Then someday you will gradually, without even noticing it, have been living your way into the answer. Right. So, are you ready for demonstration?
Yeah.
Good. So, tell us about what you think is a family secret.
I think, or I know that there was a member in our family. I think it was my grandfather's sister who was disabled or somehow mentally impaired or something like that. that we never sort of heard about, or they just disappeared, I think. She, yeah, she was never a family, but I heard about it once that she was there, but nobody knows anything more. And my grandfather has died, and yeah.
Aha, okay. That's interesting, because I immediately think that if you have heard about it, it's not a secret anymore, right? That's the logic.
That was never talked about, that's why.
Yeah, but we
yeah.
take it anyhow. We see how it is. Otherwise, I demonstrate it. So tell me. So we need a figurine for you. You as a client, and then we need a figurine for the family that you think, or the family branch that you think had to do with it. Did you say your grandfather?
Yes, my mother's father.
So we need you, your mother's father.
And it was his sister, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So who's you?
Who's me? The little the blue one here on my left.
I don't know what your left is. Towards me or away from me, or towards the
away
camera?
from you, on the other side of the table, the bigger blue figure with a short.
That one?
Yeah, just no. On the other side of the table. Yeah,
Towards
blue.
me.
No, the bigger one here.
That one?
Away from that person, further away. No.
Okay.
On the other side of the table, not that side of the table, on the other side.
There.
Yes, that blue bigger person there.
So who's
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Who is that?
Me.
Okay. Then your mother?
The one beside it in black.
That one? Or that one?
I think you just grabbed it. Yeah, you're a bit stuck with the screen. No, that first one that you chose there.
That's your mother. And then we need her father.
Her father is the guy in red here in the tall one in the front, closer to you.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Let's start with this 3 figurine, and you tell me how to place them on this board, on this moving board.
The blue one, me, comes towards me. Comes towards the screen. Oh, you're stuck. I can't. Yeah.
Like this?
Yes. A bit more to the left, a bit more further towards me. No, to the other side. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Who's next?
And my mother, the black one, is on the left side of me, which is your right, I suppose, or something, on the left side of me. No, the other side.
That's your left side.
No, that's my right side. That's
no,
my
no,
right side.
Here, then.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Your left
the one
side.
that I'm standing, yeah, on my right side, on my right side, further away.
Like so?
Further away. Towards the edge of the, a bit further.
Towards here?
Yeah, could still be, yeah, there. There's.
Okay,
yeah.
And then the red one?
The red one is probably good where he is.
Okay, so we leave the red one here. And where's the red one looking? Like it is?
The way that it is, yeah.
Very good. Okay, so that's a very good example. If you look closely, you can see that the blue figurine, the black figurine, and the red figurine are not looking at each other. The red figurine is looking somewhere here. Yeah, they are looking away anyhow. There is no relationship. That's the conclusion, yeah? Remember, when we start to work with representatives, we start there where we see an emotion, a relationship, when one is looking at the other. Yeah? And then we find out what kind of relationship we have there. Here, you wouldn't know where to start. You understand what I'm saying? Where do you start here? Because the representatives can only speak to another representative when they are looking at them. Nobody can speak to the wall.
Looking at them, isn't he?
So nobody can hear actually talk. So that is a situation where we as a facilitator are frustrated and get stuck, because what's the next step here? What can we cannot move them around, yeah? Understand? Nobody can say anything because nobody is looking at anybody. There's also nobody looking down. There's literally no relationship there. Nobody is moving. That's a typical sign of a family secret. Yeah. And we could like, even if we would add, I just grab a couple of more figurines, the smaller ones. Even if we have like 7 representatives, yeah, on the board, they would look like, let's put it that way, that way, that way. I just try to make that right, or that way. So nobody would look at each other. And you can add 10 more, and they would not look at each other. Oh, that's wrong. Actually, they look at the same spot, so that would be like this then. So there's nothing to work with. Do you see that? Where would you start here? What would be the first step? There is none. Why we are demonstrating, there is, because I just put them randomly like this. If 2 are looking at the same spot here, you would place a figurine there, so they can relate with it. So let's put the pink one there, yeah? And then you would check in what the reaction is here. That's okay. But we don't have that in the family secret. They would not look anywhere in the same direction. Everybody looks in a different direction. And they don't want to move neither. Nobody wants to move. That is a typical sign for a family secret. If you have a workshop, a practice workshop, where nobody moves or looks at each other or feels any emotions towards each other, that is a family secret, okay? Right, so now we take this out again. In this situation, we go back to Evelyn's family. In this situation, we would ask the client, as we do now, to pick a figurine, just the figurine for the family secret. What would that be?
The large yellow one in the back.
That one. Okay. Where would you place it? Where would you place it?
Closer to me.
Closer to you. What side?
Behind me, sort of, yeah, a bit further away. No, like in between me and the grandfather, sort of, that's the grandfather, red one. Yeah, between me and the grandfather.
There?
Yeah. Yep.
And where is this you looking?
Hmm.
If you can't decide, we leave it as it is.
At me, I think maybe at me. I'm not sure.
So at the moment, it's like this. How does that feel?
I think more at me. Looking at me.
Looking at you, like this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So now we have one relationship here. So everything has changed because we have the yellow one who's relating to the blue one. Looking at them. So now we ask the client, what do you feel? They have to resonate with the yellow one. Finding out what emotion is there.
Warmth. Sort of a compassion feeling, sort of
Hmm?
from me towards that person.
Because it's in the blue. That's
Yeah.
you. And what about the
Yeah.
yellow?
Yellow one
Mhm.
feels pretty neutral.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Lost probably more.
and what is here in the red one?
What is he what? What is
What
he
do you
feeling?
feel? Yeah, what is resonating with you here in the red one?
Seeing it, acknowledging her, but not wanting to see it, sort of thing. Like,
Yeah. So
yeah.
no change here. And what's in the black one?
She's actually moving closer towards that yellow one and looking at her.
Like this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Not quite like close, but yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
How does it feel for the black one?
That's good.
And has anything changed here?
Now I can also turn around
Okay.
and
Yeah.
sort of look at them both.
Like this. Yeah?
Hmm.
How does that feel?
That's good.
Mhm. Has anything changed here in the red one?
Yeah, he wants to come closer too, between the black and the yellow. Yeah.
Like this? Where is
Yes.
he looking at?
At me, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. How do you feel now?
A little bit sad, actually. Is a bit like sort of a responsibility or something.
Mm-hmm. And the yellow? Is there a movement?
Towards the red one.
Very good.
Looking at the red one.
Very good. How close?
Quite close.
Very good. Very good. How's that for the red one?
Emotional, but he can turn towards her as well.
Right. Is there a word that comes up?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Excellent. And for the yellow one, same?
More of a yeah, it was a please that came up, but the yes has already been said. So
Very good. Is there anything going on in the black one?
wants to move closer with me and look towards them
Side by side?
on that side. Yes, on the left side.
Very good. Can you also say yes?
Me towards the black?
No,
Or
towards
generally?
this too.
Yes.
Yes. Say yes, now I see you belong together.
Yes, now I see you belong together.
Very good. Very good. So we leave it here and we will analyze it a little bit. So that was very good because it was indeed pretty much how a family secret looks like. So very accurate. Remember, we started with the representatives not relating to each other, and then by adding a fourth representative, the yellow one, movement came in. Yeah, movement came in. And we had also to deal with an entanglement. There was not only family secret by itself. Still, we need to detect where is the imbalance in the orders of love. And that was here. There was an entanglement, obviously, between Evelyn and the and this missing person, this yellow person. And by seeing her or him or whoever that is, we don't know whether it's actually the sister or not. But by seeing that, but it is very likely actually because yellow is the color of the child, the children. And disabled children are often staying in the mind of the children. Yeah, they are normally very happy and childlike all their life, regardless how old they are. And that is a very good representation here. And here we have some perpetrator energy. You see that in the red color. And there would probably, him had also a huge influence on the decision if it's the sister to hide her or whatever they did with her. Yeah. And through adding it and making it seen, because you were looking then at her. So she came and she was looking at you. That's also typical, because this entanglement is created for the sole reason that she's be seen by the entanglee. And that was the case. Yeah. And you turned around to look at her. And then that is normally setting this healing movement into action. The healing movement to come together. In this case, it is a victim-perpetrator relationship and a family relationship, both. Yeah, a blood relationship and a victim-perpetrator relationship. And that is a healing movement that has been taking place. So that was a very short and brief and to the point constellation, but it was very accurately depicting how a family secret looks like when you start a constellation and how you can solve it and work normally with the representatives once you have added a figurine for the family secret. Yeah? Is that clear? More or less?
The perpetrator because of the color red, or how do you know that he was perpetrator?
Well, first of all, he looked away. Secondly, yes, the color red is indicating a very strong emotion like anger or aggression, or blood, even, if you will. Yeah. And interestingly, also that other than you, everybody has swapped genders. So the grandfather has a female figurine, the sister has a male figurine, the mother is a male figurine. So that's also interesting. Yeah. We are not going into that. We don't need to analyze it, but it's just an observation. Yeah. It's also interesting. All right. Well, thank you for this demonstration, Evelyn, with your family
Thank you.
system. Let's all get together. I stop sharing, and we use the last 15 minutes we have for Q&A about the module 3. So what was there that we haven't discussed, or what was there that you found most interesting or surprising, or what stuck the most with you? Everybody has a go. You can share whatever you want to share about this module. Shall we just quickly? Yep, Celine, you go.
Maya, what you did on the last part, which is Evelyn's family constellation with the dogs, and from there we know that how they look at each other is where you find connection.
Yeah.
But the color of the child, yellow, or like what they chose from the dolls, do you have a book that we can read to understand more of the codes or symbols from?
Yeah, well, I don't have a book, but that will all be part of next month's module, module 4, when I teach you the colors.
Ah, okay. So there's a book reference that we can also read to
Not
understand
a book.
more about
That's
the
not a book. The spiritual colors. I made a chart for it. We can go through next time. So no, unfortunately, I don't know of a book. No.
Okay. Thank you.
But you will learn it. Very good. Right. So let's just round up, and I asked you to tell me what was module 3 about. You don't need to summarize the whole module, the 3 days, but what do you remember? What has stuck with you? You know? Shall I just start with, let's say, Maya? Would you like to tell me what has stuck with you from this module?
Well, it is titled "Staying Centered in the Truth," and there's lots of information in 9 hours of with a presentation. That what's stuck with me. I'm finding that hard. The staying centered in many of the things that you dealt with, particularly today, were things that would affect your ability to really stay centered.
Yeah.
But there are also ideas about in relation to the creation of the family constellation, that then with people who are participants in the workshop, so that in being able to recognize them and recognize certain things, so that you're not thrown off center.
Yeah.
In seeing, just like it's overly simplistic to say a typology, but it is important to recognize people that are going to get the most from family constellations, and those people that the method, because of their current I know it's rare. I know you mentioned it, it's rare, but that at this particular point or whatever in their development, that family constellations may not be the right thing for them. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Very good.
It's like a whole array of things about affecting your actually staying, building in your confidence. I like that also. Your three things. What are they? This see, and is it calm? In the sort of stance to develop to be an effective leader, to to embody, to cultivate, to really feel that way, you know, to project that, not just project it, but to embody it. Sort of. As you can see, I'm still trying to bring some of these things together. It's a lot of information.
Of course, I'm not expecting you to summarize, of course, but I hear you saying, and I like that, that you took the title for this module in context to the content of it. And yes, that's exactly what it is. It's all about you not being throwing off your center. Finding it first with personal development, of course, and leadership skills, and then, you know, staying there and not being thrown off. And just because you mentioned that, Maya, we do work a lot with mild mental things like depression, suicidal thoughts. That works fantastic in family constellation, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's you know, it's a spectrum, and then it just becomes too much, and it's just weird ego mental activities going on with people, and that's when you can't work with them anymore. But then you have this mild spectrum, which is fantastic if they come to a family constellation, because they often have these symptoms from an entanglement. Or from an intergenerational trauma, or from a birth trauma, or even a past life, which we will go through in module 4. So that's all possible, and we can help with that for sure. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Who wants to do next? Virna, would you like to go? I'm just going in the order of you on my screen.
I found that in the last, well, one was the traps, and you said that we won't be able to see it. And I did pick up that I had my trap the other day, and I've noticed that it can be noticed depending on our work development. In regards to what we saw today, I found that there are things that I need to let go of the idea of controlling what I cannot.
Good.
And one step at a time, one foot in front of, and then the other one follows. Yes, in regards to a group, yeah, taking it easy and go with the flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that, Virna. Very good. Catherine, how about you?
With a couple of things. But they've just gone out of my head now because I started thinking about something else. Oh, can I come back?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I'll just have a look. I just completely went off on another tangent then.
Okay, no worries. How about you, Katharina?
Like this module, because it's also a reminder how to do your life choices, right? How to self-care, because it's very important as a healer. You need to first heal yourself and take care of yourself, then you can help others, right?
Yeah.
Also, I love, because I coming through my work as well, those stuff like what is behind actually that you want to be seen, validated, right? When you talk about like so there was the neediness.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to be accepted, seen, wanted, needed? And also I kind of reflect it because when I'm working with special needs and then we have lots of carers,
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, the support coordinators, and sometimes what's the need is coming to this
Yeah,
work in
who
this
needs
industry,
whom?
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, who needs whom? Yeah, that's a good
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
So it's kind of good reflection as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
With the blended spot as well, it's also like the mirror, right? What I don't want to see on the behaviors, what is like challenge me at others. It's
Mhm.
probably something what I don't want to
Mhm.
see in myself, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is also quite helpful, like for the development, the self-development for sure. And yes, schizophrenia and with the mental diseases, you were like coming on and off, so it was a little bit difficult to
Mm.
understand. But I have to probably play it again from the record to get more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the marketing part, what we did yesterday with the poster and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite creative, like how to engage people with the
Mhm.
discovering new stuff. Yeah. And
Right.
it's
Great.
yeah,
Thank
and
you for yeah, no, something else, Katarina?
you give us the tools how to hold a space for the people, right? What to do, how to structure the workshop, and yeah, it's really, yeah, I think good tips and good knowledge
Very
what
good.
we have now.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Very good. We are very welcome. I like to see you well equipped when you go on
Yes.
your journey and set out. Thank you, Katarina. Who wants to go next? Evelyn, are you ready, or do you need to pet your cat? Cute.
Not by choice petting the cat. He's coming to pet me.
I know. My cat is exactly like that.
He's very
Hmm.
he's probably hungry or something.
Yeah, something is always needy. They are needy. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that was a really helpful and quite a different module I found. It was nice to sort of go into the details of how to set up workshops and flyers and to think of guidelines as well, and yeah, to be really clear as well of yeah, it sort of made me aware of that sort of authorities and the boundaries that that we need, which will be an interesting thing to sort of start, especially when we start with friends and family,
yeah.
the circles, and sort of it's been on my mind a little bit. Oh, how do you combine that with, when you say a potluck, and then bringing it into a circle of of doing actual focused start of constellation or something. I have a few sort of questions in my mind still, sort of about that circle of the exercises that you were meaning to do. That's not quite clear to me yet, how we can do something in 10 minutes that would be conducive if we just do that as
Or
a
just
group.
the exercises we did in our first modules. You can just use them. Mother, father, partner. What else did we do?
Would you just do it with one person or with a whole group, or?
No, we choose two partners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
No.
Choose different people each time, sort of thing.
Oh, just the group split into partners.
Oh, okay, with each other.
Mhm.
Okay. But what we do in the split off groups or something like that, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that stood out was, yeah, think about our own needs, which is always part of the healing work. I find, like, yeah, how much, do we need validation, or what are we doing this for, and all that questioning, I think. and looking at. And yeah, the whole mental health and some secrets is an interesting subject as well. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Thank
Thank you for your feedback, Evelyn. And then we go to Celine.
Hi. So I really like model 3. Staying centered. For me personally, it's more to like finding your truth. So staying centered in it. So your client itself can also find their truths. Because if you're not like balanced or you're not centered in your own truth, you are not able to help your clients. So I also understand the art of helping in
Very good.
as a helper, right? While also helping leading the client while being a helper. So knowing that position and that balance, right? Structuring workshop is also interesting because it's more practical of how we can do it. The exercise with the group is also fun, even on a rush time. And for the last part, the finding yourself, self-centeredness, finding understanding yourself. I feel like this is very interesting because Finger's principles on this is a bit similar with Bible, where you find God first, and God would say that you find love others like you love yourself. So in a way, for us to help others, we need to first love ourselves like God love us. So that's the principles of Bibles.
Yes.
But for Bert Hellinger, I feel like you have to find your love for yourself. You have to discover your blind spots, all your emotional traumas, clear it up. So once you go past through that, then you are able to help your clients along the line. So yeah, something that's also same principles with Christian principles.
Yeah. Because they're all universal, you know. Every religion is just based on principles, like universal principles, if you will. And then they, put their own twist on it, but the foundation should be the same with every religion, with every spiritual teaching. Yeah, there is this foundation that is about yourself and your journey and your self-love, but not developing an ego love, but transcending ego and ego identification to find yourself, who is love. Yeah. Very good. Thank you for sharing. Lovely thoughts on love, self-love. Catherine, shall we bother you again, or is that too much for you to think about?
Well, I've been with one thing for quite a while, since yesterday. I remember when I did my Gestalt training at the very beginning, having to write a list of trying to explain what is Gestalt if you had to explain it to somebody.
Yep.
And I remember it took me quite a number of years to say distinct sentences to people about what it was. And then doing the exercise yesterday around making a poster, I was with that same thing, in short, succinct time, what is family constellations to somebody?
Yeah.
And I really want to work on that to be able to have clarity to people so I don't lose them. So that's a good challenge for me to go forward with.
Just write it down and refine it and refine it and refine and then learn it by heart, and then you have this standard compelling, convincing, whatever 3-sentence explanation. And believe me, I still struggle when people who have no idea ask me what I'm doing to explain that. It's it's not so straightforward.
Different, yeah. And luckily there's some crossovers with Gestalt, like it's experiential and things like that.
Mhm. Very good. Well, thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, around letting go, you know, that asking yourself, what have I been, what emotional responses have I had today?
Mhm.
Do I need to let go? Well, you know,
Mhm.
working as a therapist, sometimes it just feels like so bad to let go. And because I know myself, if there's learning to be had and I haven't harvested all that learning, I won't. And yeah, so that's how to clear myself more quickly and more easily.
Yeah.
Two main things I'm with. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Well, thank you all for sharing and being with me this weekend. Now, remember, you have this 10 coupon codes for the open workshops. Yeah, the next one is coming up soon. I think in a week or so. They're on the website. All the workshops for this year are published on the website. In your time zone, when you log in, it's your time zone. Use your coupon code and book them. Yeah, that is where you observe how facilitating is. You observe everything you've learned. And then we have the practice workshops, which are on the calendar, which is a trainee-only event where we gather and you can now practice facilitating after you have finished the first 3 modules as well. So all of these events are important. More important than anything else is to come on the practice and open workshops and really from everything you have learned in the first 3 modules, now observe where you see it, where you find it, how does it look, yeah? So it becomes knowledge and not just information. No? We don't want it to just be information. Okay, Celine, you have your hand up?
Yeah, Maya, I lost track of the module 2. Can I watch the module 2 from
Yes,
the
you can
recordings?
watch this,
And
yeah.
then I follow the workshop together with you.
Yeah. You book the workshops anyhow. You can watch all the videos that are already published, not published, that are already edited on your group site. And to this parts or to the whole module, you were not able to come in person. You come next term. Yeah.
Also, I emailed you the questions for the coupon code.
You need the coupon codes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I emailed you already. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. No problem. Okay. Well, I leave you here. Well-deserved rest of the evening or day. And I looking forward to seeing you soon.
Can I ask a quick question before you go?
Who is that?
Evelyn.
Hi. Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, so from now on, if we participate in practice workshops, do we have to practice straight away, or can we say, no, I'm not feeling ready? Or
No, you don't have to. No, you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. There's no pressure.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Very good. All right. So I hopefully see you on the next open workshop, which is coming up, I think, next week. And then the practice workshop will be a few weeks later. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.